It's a lovely day in Dreamland, and DDD is looking at some children through binoculars, which I believe will get you in trouble in most countries. But DDD just really hates Kirby today and goes to order a monster because Kirby bad. You know, at least in shows like OKKO or something, that's the joke. Like, why is this group of kids such a threat to you? They're not. Why are you trying to kill them? And they give some answer about how they just can't stand to look at all their goodness and friendship, and then they are called sad idiots. That's not how DDD works, though. He hates Kirby. We don't know why he hates Kirby. No one ever brings up how pathetic it is that he just spends all this time trying to beat up a cute kid for no reason. It just is, and I guess I just need to accept this and move on. So DDD calls Mr. Jawline, and he's like, we offer a full line of powerful monsters. Some of them were even in the games that the show is based on, but those will cost you extra. DDD complains that the octopus they sent was weak, even though he didn't order it for Kirby, but still wanted a refund after it turned out. So he's gonna order a monster, and I need to let go. Kirby and the annoying characters are playing, but then there's a thunderstorm. Kirby hides in a tree, which I'm pretty sure there's some rule about. Then we get introduced to the absolute worst character in the show, Takori. This is Takori. He sucks and I hate him with all my heart. He's mean, he's useless, he wasn't even in the game, so his existence in this narrative isn't even justified in that sense. He's just an all-around unlikable prick. So these kids who are pro hiding under a tree during a thunderstorm, I guess, yell at Takori for kicking Kirby out of his nest. Then they realized, hey, it's been a week and we have done nothing about giving Kirby a place to live. Probably should have been the first thing we did, but it's this episode's problem now. So they then try to force Kirby on several citizens of Cappy Town, but what a shocker, people aren't keen on adopting a space child, and also DDD hires Takori to keep sabotaging any living situation Kirby even gets close to having, and Takori agrees for no reason. Really, I don't think there is a reason. I don't think DDD's like paying him. Maybe I missed a line, and if he is, he's a goddamn bird. What's he gonna do with money? The only reason he's doing this is because he's the very worst, and I guess King DDD is doing this because having Kirby live in one place and knowing where he is at all times will just muck up his plans. Also, gas station cabbie. This is kind of your fault for seemingly having a self-destruct button at your gas station. Chef Kawasaki, who sounds like Ed Wynn for some unexplainable reason, but Lord knows I'm not arguing.
Well, any enemy of the king is a friend of mine.
Don't let's be silly.
Even points out that, hey, you guys live in the castle years, bros, just let them stay there. But of course they have an excuse because rich kids hate helping the poor. They hit up Takori, even though he's the one who kicked him out in the first place. But he says he should go back to where he came from because he's the worst, and he'd vote for DDD again if he could, even though he already won the Derm election. I hate you, Takori. But Ku, who's actually from the game, so that's fun, says maybe they should find another tree. Because, like, one time he crashed with Takori while his tree was being fumigated, and it was just the worst week of his life. All he had in the fridge was a half-eaten jar of pickles and an empty bag of chips. Anyway, that gives Tiff the idea to build Kirby a treehouse. Won't have heat, no AC, no running water, no electricity, but it's an open box Kirby can sit in, I guess. Hey look, it's Rick! He was another animal friend. It's nice to have characters, like, from the games show up. Also, Rick is Australian.
Hi mate, you must be Kirby. My name's Rick.
I'd say, why does Planet Popstar have an Australia? But why would they have a Japan or England or any Spanish settlement? He's Australian, Rick. We just need to accept that. Then DDD is mad because Kirby's gonna live somewhere, and he doesn't believe in people with no money being able to have basic shelter. So he orders a monster, which I thought he did at the beginning of the episode, but apparently he didn't. Salesman guy gives them a monster named Blocky, who at least shares a name with a game enemy. Blocky then proceeds to crush DDD and Escargoon to death, so conflict over, end of series. Meanwhile, Tiff and the rest are holding a housewarming party for Kirby, and despite being kept in that party ball for 6 hours, Kirby did not suffocate. Also, I want to point out that the Cappies are being so mean in this scene.
This is the perfect place for Kirby.
Yeah, it's out of town.
Am I supposed to like these characters? They're such a-holes to the cute baby main character. But unfortunately, DDD and Escargoon recover from death and accuse the villagers of being rioters, and when they argue, he shoots at them. Okay, well, he shoots Kirby's house down because then Blocky comes out and it's fight time. Don't know why this ties in with the Find Kirby a House subplot. Blocky doesn't embody any insecurity or flaw or fear in any of the main characters. He's not a direct threat to the housing plot. These two situations don't really tie into each other, but I guess we're fighting now. Okay. Blocky smashes Kirby with his crotch, which Blocky having a crotch wouldn't even be a thing I would think of if he wasn't wearing a mawashi, but that's the piece of clothing that sumo wrestlers wear, so you're making me think Blocky has a crotch, and he just smashed Kirby with it. Thanks for that. Fortunately, Kirby doesn't have bones or internal organs, so he just gets flattened out like a Looney Tunes character, and it's fine. After this, I don't know what the hell would kill Kirby, so I guess there's no real stakes in the series anymore. They tell Kirby to suck Blocky. Okay, but he can't, and then Meta Knight, out of nowhere, moon ring eyes and all, Meta Knight likes to watch. So, more sucking and crotch smashing. The things this episode is making me write. And this situation isn't going anywhere. It sounds like I'm reviewing a Kirby porno, which I'm sure exists. Please don't tell me about it. Tiff risks her life to save Kirby, even though we've established that this is barely scathing him, so this is just putting Tiff into needless danger, which I'm okay with that. Kirby lands on Takori's nest, and I swear to God, Takori says big pink puss.
Now get your big pink puss out of here!
Try typing that into Google Images. Again. Sounds like I'm reviewing a porno. And then DDD shoots Takori. Yes, more. Suddenly, DDD is my favorite character. We all know Meta Knight enjoyed watching that. So Tiff and Tuff are confused as to why Kirby couldn't beat up Sumo Rock, and Meta Knight decides to be useful.
Your opponent is made of a super high density matter.
Super high density? What's that mean?
Oh my god, okay. Rockman, too heavy for Kirby to suck up. Find more than one solution to solve your problems. Then Meta Knight just leaves because he doesn't want to deal with these damn kids anymore. Tuff wonders why Meta wants to help Kirby if he works for King DDD, and I need to go into dumb nerd rage mode, bear with me. 1. Tuff. Your parents work for the king. Clearly not everyone who works for the king is a bad person. 2. We went over this in episode 1. He was helping you the entire time. He was telling you things Kirby does and how he can win. Is Tuff's lizard brain just now catching up? So they can't beat Blocky by inhaling him. So what do they train Kirby to do? Inhale more things. Meta Knight's just in the back like, Ugh. Tiff knows how Kirby can beat Blocky, but doesn't feel like sharing it with the rest of the class apparently. King DDD says this.
I know I heard the sound of sucking over here somewhere.
This fucking episode, I swear to God. And then Tiff's like, you know what to do, Kirby. And Kirby's like, no, I don't. We didn't discuss this. You never told me. So Kirby just starts sucking and hoping he's doing this right. And bullshitting actually works. Blocky turns into smaller Blockies, which, how did Kirby know that would happen? Blocky was about to smash him, not that it would be fatal, and he swallows one. Copy ability time. He turns into Stone Kirby, surprise! They're going the caveman route and hoping smashing one rock against another rock solves all their problems, but hey, now Blocky actually looks like he does in the games, that's nice. Stone powers here appear to work the way they do in Crystal Shards, which probably has the most useful stone ability since you can actually move, and I like that game, so this was a fun way for the anime to do the stone ability. So Blocky reforms, and turns out smashing rocks together doesn't get anything accomplished. Instead, Kirby takes advantage of Blocky's caveman brain and makes him sleep with the fishes. Hey look, it's Kind, the other animal friend. We got all 3 in this episode, and only 2 out of 3 of them will end up being likable characters. So everyone thinks Kirby's dead, and I guess everyone got up and were like, Kirby might be dead, I gotta see this shit. But instead of having someone go out and look for him, they stare at the water, hoping that will help, and it does. DD is sad because he actually consistently liked this monster, and Escargoon makes that taken for granite pun, which flies right over your head if you grew up somewhere where people said granite like granite anyway. And then suddenly Kirby has a house. Really glad that Blocky plot being resolved allowed this to happen, even though he wasn't the one stopping it. Guess DD got bored with the home wrecking, but whatever. Kirby's got a cute little hut now. Takori's awful and steals it. Kirby steals his house. The moral of the story is I hate Takori. The end. I am a rock.